Joining me now is the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. Welcome, Mr. Secretary.
Thanks, Reed. It's great to be with you.
President Biden says that he thinks now that there is a ceasefire between the Israelis and Palestinians, there is a significant opportunity for even more positive developments, or genuine opportunity, I think, if I'm quoting him correctly. And I'm wondering, is there really, I mean, you have an Israeli government that seems pretty unyielding. You have a Palestinian Authority led by an 85-year-old man who doesn't, is too scared to hold elections for fear of what will happen. Hamas controls Gaza. Is there really a prospect of some kind of movement towards a genuine political solution?
Fareed, I think there has to be. I think both sides are reminded that we have to find a way to break this cycle, because if we don't, it will repeat itself at great cost and at great human suffering on all sides. Look, we worked very hard with this intense but behind-the-scenes diplomacy to get to the ceasefire. And I think President Biden, leading this effort, made the judgment that we could be most effective in doing that. And ultimately, after this intensive effort across the government, we got to where everyone wanted to be, which was to end the violence. But now, as the President said, I think it's incumbent upon all of us to try to make the turn, to start to build something more positive. And what that means at heart is that Palestinians and Israelis alike have to know in their day in and day out lives equal measures of opportunity, of security, of dignity, something that you touched on in your piece in the Washington Post this week.
The Biden administration, President Biden, when he was campaigning, said, as soon as I become president, we will rejoin the Iran nuclear deal. The Iranians said the same thing. We're now 4 months into the administration. Nothing has happened. Both sides said there seems to be something of a standoff. And Iran is meanwhile busily enriching, the very thing people like you warned about when Joe Biden was campaigning. Isn't this a failure of diplomacy? Shouldn't you guys have been able to get back into the deal within a week or two?
Two things, Fareed. First, I think the steps that Iran is taking underscore the urgency of trying to get Iran back into compliance with its obligations under the nuclear deal, the deal that stopped the dangerous aspects of their nuclear program, the prospect that they could have fissile material for a nuclear weapon on short order. We've had, I think, 5 rounds of conversations now, of talks now, indirect, in Vienna. And in fact, our team's going back to Vienna in the coming days to pursue that. I think we've actually made progress in clarifying what each side needs to do to get back into full compliance. The outstanding question, the question that we don't have an answer to yet, is whether Iran, at the end of the day, is willing to do what is necessary to come back into compliance with the agreement. That's the proposition that we're testing. But it's getting, I think, through these rounds of discussions and talks, clearer and clearer what needs to happen. The question is Iran prepared to do it?